Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to Wacky Weekend Lite, the Artie show without Artie. Yes, it is back on my channel because I can't say too much, but with Artie's various health and legal issues, for now, it's going to be on my channel for the next few weeks. Artie or his cousin can share whatever details they want to share, but that's not my job. It's not bad news, at least as I'm speaking, it's not bad news at all, but he's under advisement to stay off of social media until everything gets settled. But they are definitely at the denouement. They're at the end game of that situation, which is good for everybody. There's Attila Varga. So Attila, you can let me know if I've said too much or not enough. It's great to have you all here. I really, my son came up from Columbus, so we've been spending the day with the family, and they're just getting ready to, they're going to go out with friends now, and they're going to spend the night here, but in the morning they're going to head over and visit her family, his wife's family. So anyhow, whom all do we have here right now? Let's see who I've got on the list. Hello, Attila, you are here. Hello, James from Dundas Junction Model Railway, or Dundas. Hot Dog Pilot Andy, John Benicki, Greg from Midsummer Rail, and Randall Ellison. Yeah, Randall, I just saw your comment on my poll. Again, the poll is not your favorite song. It's which one is my singing the least offensive. That's the question. It's not which one is your favorite song. It's which one where you go, he doesn't sound really horrible. It was just Joyce and I were talking about while making a video, and somebody else had asked us, well, what songs do we hate? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I hate my voice in all of them. But so Joyce and I started doing a little bit of, well, what songs do I sound bad? Which songs do I sound bad, but not as bad as? Which songs do I sound at least tolerable? And we came up with those three as being the three best singing performances by me. So we're grading singing performance only. We're not favorite song. Of course, what music you're into can affect that. Let me see who else has come in. Or Chris from the Valley just came in. Hey, GRE 2057 is here. Welcome in, welcome in. Nice to have you here. Possum Bayou is here. Rusty, I believe that is. Great Northern 70 just came in. I gave myself, I trimmed my beard and a haircut yesterday morning before my Friday live stream. But I want to find GRE because everybody gets the spanner here on this one. And vocal lessons could improve, but in the end, your voice is either good or not good. I mean, there is a level. You can improve it, and Lord knows I've worked on improving it over the years, but because I did have some vocal training when I was working on comedy and you know, trying to learn to do impersonations and stuff like that, and how to change your voice and things like that. Sending a voucher. Yeah, we can take up a collection. You can donate money to my singing lessons, but I can't promise that I would not turn around and spend it on trains. And that is a great segue into the little topic I want to bring up today as a discussion. Then I'll just bring people up and let you have. I look spick and span. The funny thing is, I grew this beard just before going to Gets. I normally wear just a goatee, but in the winter for a few weeks, I usually grow a beard. I've had this beard since the end of September, early October. And this is the longest I have worn a beard since I was young. I have not, normally it gets itchy after a while and I decide it's got to come off. It has not gotten itchy. And I've left it on. And a lot of times I will either grow a beard or eventually shave it off, just as an idea of trying to change how I'm feeling about myself. It's like, okay, it's time to take the face rug off and look a little different. Your wife is the singer. Joyce can sing. Obviously, anybody follows Joyce can sing. Now, she'll tell you she has a range, and a lot of times I ask her to go outside that range and comfort zone, but she at least has a range. I don't. My voice is Alpha Centauri, and the range I would like to be able to sing at is our solar system. It's not even close. I can sometimes pull it off. I don't know if we're going to talk about Smurfs there, Attila. I think you could qualify. Nope, I apologize. You would qualify as a hobbit. The big hairy feet give it away. Hey, Chase Railway, welcome in. How's everybody doing? I want to talk about a term called a frantic. Now, the term frantic is used in many groups and subgroups, and it means somebody who gets into the hobby and they burn through it. You know, they buy their first train and 2 weeks later, they're trying to build miniature Wonderland. You know, they don't pace themselves. They get into it and it's like a massive heroin addiction. We all know model trains. If you're truly into model trains, it's an addiction. But frantics are people that get into something, but the charge they needed, you know, from that first train, now they got to do something bigger and better, and they just go for it. So I want to talk a little bit about being a frantic in the hobby, and some related topics about can you identify when you're too addicted to the hobby? You know, like gambler, you know, some people gamble and some people can't stop gambling. So the idea here is I recently had a conversation with a friend who says, now, you know, I had a basics idea. I was doing Central European, predominantly German, but Austrian and Czech as well. Central European trains, modern era only. And in the last 3 years or so, I have gone way off that range. I'm off the ranch. You know, I was limiting myself to this, and now all of a sudden I've got this. And last week, Sunday, at the Toledo Train Show, I bought a bunch of Baltimore and Ohio passenger cars. And, you know, Joyce had no problem with it. Joyce was fine with it. But a friend did comment and says, now you're buying American trains. When is it going to stop? You keep expanding. You can't have every train, Anthony. You can't have every train. And I'm like, I know I can't have every train, but I'm trying to get certain things. Yes, but you used to be era 6, and now you're doing all of these eras. You've got all these eras, and you've done this, and you've bought these trades, and you didn't need that. You bought that. And I just sort of say, I know what I'm doing. I have expanded my taste. I only wanted passenger trains. Joyce bought me a freight train. I got talked into getting a couple of steamers. I was never into model trains, but I've always admired steamers. I admire any machinery that men and women built, that humans built by hand, as opposed to fabricated by a computer press. You're newish to the hobby, Great Northern. I mean, I have an exact date I got into the hobby. It was November 28th, 2015, because that's when the mail delivered the ICE-3 I bought off of eBay. That was my first model train. Now, I could say it was a delayed. That was my first hit. But I wasn't an addict until December 26th because although I got the train, I didn't have track or controller. My kids bought it for me for Christmas. They all pulled together and bought me one of these. This is called a Mobile Station 2. This is a Merklin this is a throttle. I like them better than all the NCE power cabs and everything I see that you guys all using. It's easier, very quick, and very user friendly. But be that as it may, I then got some track, and I had to wait till December 26th, the day after Christmas, because it didn't arrive in time for Christmas. It came in the mail December 26th, and I set a loop up on the table, and I started playing with the train, and I went, ooh, sound function. Oh, that sounds just like an ICE3. Me, horn. Oh, that's cool. Look at the lights. All this. I had a model train my dad bought me when I was 6, and that was it. Everybody's heard that story by now. Hey, welcome, Jeff's Trains World. Nice to have you here. Let's get you knighted in here. Because everybody, I shouldn't say knighted, that's my show. This is Artie's show. Anyhow, and so at the time, money was tight with us. We weren't broke or poor, or worried about losing the house or anything, but I couldn't throw a lot of money at the hobby. And over the next couple of years, I acquired about 3 or 4 more trains. And then I moved up to a more advanced control system, and I kept building a bigger table. But it was very limited. And then I got talked into, Joyce bought me a freight train. And then I got talked into buying a steamer. Well, all of a sudden I'm out of my era. And then I have 2 steamers. And then I had 3. And now I've got, about 20 steam locomotives. I've got era 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 trains. I've got all the eras. Era 6, the common era. Era 6, at least in the German model train world, is anything after 2000. But yeah, I've got all these different eras. But in the last couple of years, because I've retired and things got paid off, I've had a lot more money to spend on trains. Now, I've always had hobbies, wargaming hobbies, very expensive, sport playing hobbies, new gloves, new cleats, new bat, very expensive. But I got in, I don't do those hobbies. So I did comic book collecting and toy collecting, repairs and sales. You have to get back to work on your engaged layout. Hey, R. Jack James, welcome in. Hello, Ian. You're focusing in on German trains and track design. That's awesome. I do German trains, Austrian, but now I've got UK 00 trains, which again, my friend Jean Ricard teases me all the time about getting into 00. And Joyce at first, you don't need 00 trains. You're HO3 rail. You don't need 002 rail. I've gotten into so many things. But yes, I have bought a lot of trains. And of course, the big thing was last fall, I bought a big collection of trains from Herb. But it wasn't that I had that money and wanted to buy a bunch of trains. There was a special reason I bought this one collection. I can't do it all the time. But he had trains I wanted. There was a reason I bought the entire collection from Herb. It made his winding down days easier. It saved him hassles. He got fair money for his collection, and he didn't have to go with the stress of selling everything off piecemeal while he's in the process of going away, if you understand what I'm saying. Hey, Todd Armstrong, welcome in. So the idea is tell me to stop what? It got it. I have definitely expanded my repertoire. I've expanded my palette, so to speak. But this one person called me a frantic, said you've gotten too addicted. You're now buying everything. As no, I've wanted to add an American train or a couple of American trains to my layout since I went off the reservation and got German trains. So anyhow, I want to throw that topic out to you. Where do you draw a line? I mean, one of the first rules we tell people new into the hobby is pick an era, pick a line, pick a region, and keep it simple. But that's to start. But once you've started and you decide you like it, should we set limits? As long as you're paying your bills and you're eating and bathing, is buying lots and lots of trains a bad thing? What do you guys think? Let's share it in the chat, and I will post the link and people can come up and join me. And we could talk about, and then talk about whatever else you guys do. Yeah, and that's just it, Great Northern 70. I am a passenger train guy. I do have 3 or 4 freight trains now, but I am a passenger train person. I'm not into freight. I have freight because, hey, to run my layout, why not throw some freight? And I've got a lot of friends that are freight train only people. And so I usually try to run a freight train in all my live streams to, make those people feel welcome. But I am a passenger. So I know specifically what trains I want from the American. I want a modern era Asila, or I don't know if you say Asila or Asila, or a Charger. I want a modern Era 6, something that is running on tracks today. I want an Amtrak, and I want a nice Amtrak passenger train, preferably the Charger or one of the Asilas, and get that going. That's what I'm after. I did buy Baltimore and Ohio because Baltimore and Ohio once ran in this area, and it's saying Ohio on it. The only other company I could have done was DT and what was it? DT and E, Detroit, Toledo, Erie, and DTI, Detroit, Toledo, and Illinois, which obviously I'm in Toledo, Ohio. That would have been local, but I think they were freight only. I don't think they ran passenger. So I do still believe I still have a budget. I still can't go over that budget. But I broaden my taste. But some people say, well, you've already got enough trains. You don't need any more. So as I forget, the famous billionaire once said, somebody said, how much more money do you need? And his answer was always a little more. There are always trains I want. Some trains I'll admire from a distance. In fact, Joyce and I are going to Denmark in a couple of months. Actually, we're going to Germany, but we're going up to Denmark for a week. And Joyce asked me just last night, are you going to buy a Danish train? And I said, I don't know. It depends on what we see. She says, well, you can get yourself a Danish train. We're going to Denmark. Get yourself a Danish train. It's like she's already written a blank check and said, get a Danish train. And I said, hey, well, they do make a Danish ICE3, basically. Cool, And she's already said, get yourself a Danish plane. All right, I do have one person in the basement, so I'm going to bring up my good friend. We have Randall Ellison. You are on stage. Hello, Randall. Welcome in, my good friend. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, Rick's Trains. Are you there, Randall? Come on in. Randall, if you're talking, I can't hear you. I hear a noise.
Yeah, I'm here, Anthony.
Okay, good.
I'm just trying to get stuff done.
No problem. Get yourself a Danish pastry cheaper. Let me see. So let's take this quote from Attila Varga. The big problem with every modeler is they see it and want it, but one needs to put a limit. So the question is, where do you draw the limit? I mean, if you have the money, and you have the space, and like I said, you're not refusing to pay your house bill, your electric bill, whatever, you have that money. What is the limit? That's kind of what this topic is. What is the limit? When do you have too many trains? Because some of you may remember a few months ago, a friend of mine, Luma, for a German who lives in Portugal, he showed us his collection. He has a lot more trains than I do. and he's always buying more. And I'm like, he could run a different locomotive every day and not run the same locomotive for a year. So what is too much? What is that limit? All right. So anyhow, and obviously the first rule we understand is what you have is limited by, the number one limit is financial ability. If you don't have a lot of money, you're not going to have a lot of trains. And that sucks when somebody else has 300 trains and you want all of them, and you can have 3 trains because that's all you can afford. It's a hobby of classes, of economic classes. And I'm in a situation where I actually can have a lot of trains, probably more than I need, but I'm always getting more. So hey, Monsville, how are you? Ian, hello, Ian. Todd Armstrong. I think I said hi. Oh, we have another person in the basement. And we have Chase. Chase has joined us. There he is. Hello, Chase. Welcome in.
Hello.
Chase Family Lines. Oh, somebody needs
Hello.
to. If you are listening to us in the background, you got to turn your sound off or put on earphones because you'll echo. If you are listening to us in the background, you got to turn your sound off or put on earphones.
How do I turn my sound off?
Okay.
How do I turn my sound off?
Okay. Or you got the wrong one because I'm still hearing the echo. That sounds right. All right. So Rick's Train says, I save some money and then I will buy something if I like it. And it's your limit. So yeah. So what I'm trying to do is get past, is it just a financial limit, or is there some sort of emotional limit that we should have? Again, money is your first limit. Money's going to dictate how many trains you can have.
Hey, Anthony, can I jump in just right quick and answer that question?
Please. I'm sick of
So,
myself.
I would say a little bit of both on that front. A little bit emotional and a little bit budget. There's engines and stuff that, like, if I saw it and it's from like my childhood or something, like an old Bachmann Jeep. One of my first train sets was a Bachmann set that had a UPGP 40 on it. So when I see locomotives like that on like eBay or something, this is going to sound kind of weird, but I always kind of gravitate towards that, even though I don't actually buy them anymore. But because I see locomotives like that, and it brings me back to when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I had one of my first train sets. So even though they're not as reliable as say like an Athearn or an Atlas or whatever, but I have a little bit of a soft spot for those engines. So now, does that mean I'm going to pay a crazy dollar amount for them? No. I mean, at most, those engines are probably worth nowadays like maybe $25 on the high end. So, so it's a little bit of both budget and emotion. So,
okay. Yeah. And I figure it is. I mean, when I came up with this topic, I figured budget was going to dominate. So I was trying to say, if budget were not a factor, is there any other limit? So, yeah, I don't know. Because we're getting echo from Chase.
yeah, I don't think that's me. Hang on.
No, that's Chase. He just popped his mic on. And that's the hard thing is, depending on your setup, you got to have, if you don't have a noise canceling microphone, you really need to have headphones and a mic. so you can hear the conversation and not echo back. See, yeah, we're getting a lot of feedback, Chase. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Chase Railway Lines. We're getting double echoing and feedback now. Love to. I want everybody to chat. Everybody knows everybody's welcome. Yeah, it's no problem. If you have a pair of headphones, you could just plug the headphones in, and then you don't have to turn anything off. And that way, we're not hearing ourselves echoing back. So let me go with what Dirk says here. Dirk from Southern Cross Rail System. My limit is purely based on budget and space, because that can also set a limit.
Yeah, that's another one too, space.
Yeah. I have a lot of space, but I am running out of storage. I could still create storage, but yeah, I am running out of storage. So, yeah, and the thing is, if you want to talk, you just unmute and come in and talk, and we'll shut up, and then we won't get the background. Budget, time, space, opportunity. Because to me, my number one limit is availability. There are trains I'm looking for and have set money aside for. It's finding them.
And another thing too, Anthony, I see a lot on like Facebook forums and stuff where somebody will buy an engine like I just mentioned earlier, like the old Bachman or something like that. They'll say, "Hey, I paid." Let's say the closest I saw a guy bought two Bachman engines, and he paid like $25 or $30. I can't remember which. And somebody said, "Well, that's way too much money. They're all junk. You should buy something like Athearn or whatever." And I'm like, if it gets the person started in the hobby, and they want to buy a Bachman engine, then so be it. I mean,
right?
No train is ever truly junk, in my opinion.
There's always a way you can use it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Even if it's learning how to repair or learning how to strip it and see all the parts in it and having those spare parts.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every train has value, either monetarily, emotionally, or parts wise, whatever.
Yep. I think that's the best thing I've heard in a while in a serious train chat is every train, every loco has a value. There's no such thing as a worthless. Yeah. We all get mad and call it worthless, but deep down, it still has a value somewhere, somehow. All right, we have a fourth person in the basement right now, and somebody is up. Let's see, what time is it there? It is 1:30 in the no, it is 12. No, it is 1:30 in the morning where he's at. It is Ian from the Netherlands, Nederland. Hello, Ian.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Good. Good today.
Nice to see you here. Now,
Time is 1, half 2.
halfway to 2, yeah.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello,
wait.
everybody.
1:30, halb 2. 1:30, halb 2. Now, Ian, how much German do you speak?
Yeah, a little.
Nicht so viel? Nicht so
A
viel.
little.
Just a little. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I speak no Dutch. I can understand some Dutch, but I don't speak it. I
And a
use
little English. My Dutch is better. Netherlands.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah. I try my best. A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here goes somebody, because you're a Märklin person like me. We both love Märklin. But check Ian's channel out. He just tore down his layout and is building a new one. Neue Anlage bauen. Anyhow, R. Jack James, DB trains have a place in my heart as they were the first passenger trains I rode on in 2002. You beat me by 1 year. DB Deutsche Bahn trains were the first trains I ever rode, 2003. And they're the first time I rode a train, period.
Sorry, I'm smoking cigarettes. Okay.
Hey, I'm not next to you, so it's fine with me. Any children watching, you know. Not nicht für die Kinder. But yeah, we have this. It's an amazing hobby that obviously spans the world. We divide ourselves into gauge and era and favorite lines or so forth. But when obviously finance, I think, is number one. Money, Geld, is the number one limit to how much you can buy in trains. But if money were not a limit, can you have too many? Can you have too many trains, as I've been accused of? And then I know somebody who's 10 times as many trains as I have. They don't think they have too many. They have built an entire giant barn in their house in Ireland for their layout. And it is a 30-foot wall of trains here and a 10-foot, 15-foot wall of trains this way, and on that wall, and on that wall. At least 30 feet, 15 feet, 30 feet again, and all four walls, top to bottom, filled with Märklin trains. So you've got something in your hand. What you got there, Ian?
A koploper.
Oh, the koploper. Oh, show it. Please show it.
Yes. Ooh.
He got the newest koploper, the red tiger stripe. Is that how it's referred?
Yeah.
Hi, Eric. Welcome in, Eric. Great to have you.
It's a good one, yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to. Zyguns.
That's the big one.
Here, I'm gonna enlarge this so that we can do this. Bing. This is Märklin has made three. Märklin has made three of the koplopers, the famous Dutch high-speed train, and this is their newest version that just came out recently.
Too much people. That's better.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to see you do a video with it. So let's go back to Bing. We'll go back to here. Attila says, a dear friend of mine and his addiction to trains, because that's the danger. You can keep spending money here and not pay your bills, like any addiction, drugs, gambling, cars, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can get so addicted you forget to pay the bills.
Why yeah.
Okay.
All right, Randall.
I was trying to get everything sorted out. That storm last night really did a number on my screen door. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to ask, how did you handle the storm?
Well, we got through it pretty good, actually. They kind of split and went just to the north and just to the south. But boy, I'll tell you what, Cave City got hammered. West Plains got hammered. Yeah, it was just kind of all around. And yeah, Cave City really got it bad. That's not too far from where I live. That's probably, trying to think off the top of my head how far of a drive that be. I know it's less than 30 miles to Cave City, roughly 30 miles. But they just got shellacked down there. And West Plains, I talked to my supervisor last night, and he said he had shingles missing off of his house. I think there was some pretty good damage in and around that area. And yeah, it was a pretty wild night last night. Like I said, we didn't get the brunt of the storm, the tornadic parts of it, but boy, that wind was just insane last night.
Yeah, we're having the heavy wind today. We're having the high winds today.
It actually caught my front storm door and flung it open and just bent it all up. And so I was out there trying to shut it. So that's what I was trying to do.
Fix that. Yeah, I had a storm take out our screen door, and I remember trying to fix it. I was like, nope, we're just going to have to start over, rip it out, buy a new one.
But anyway, that's kind of the deal on the storm part. But what I was going to show you was, a locomotive similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's close enough that I can kind of show you for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about here. And I just hit the wrong thing. I got to go in and change my camera. So just bear with me just a second.
Well, there's some things I'll bear with you. It just depends on what we're bearing. Bearing our souls, bearing our passions.
Come on, phone, work for me. There you go.
All right. Go. Okay.
There we go. Okay. So this is similar, and it's glaring off the phone and everything, the lights and everything, but this is close to what I started out with.
Okay.
It's
Nice, Brando.
yeah, I actually found this several years ago at a yard sale of all things. He had a whole tub full of these trains, and I ended up getting them for like I think it was like 15 or 20 bucks. I forgot what I paid for them, but it was a whole tub of them. But it had a couple of these in it. Now, back when I was younger, I had one of these lifelike F40s. It wasn't in this scheme; it was in a Burlington Northern scheme. But yeah, this was what I was talking about when I said I have kind of a soft spot because this for locomotives like this, because this is essentially what I started out with.
Okay.
Now, the first, I guess, official train set was a Bachman Union Pacific set, and it had a GP 40, I think, on it. Sadly, there's nothing left of that set because I was way too immature back in those days to take care of stuff. And sadly, that train is lost to the mist of time. So,
right.
But that's kind of a description there. I want to show you what I kind of started out with.
All right, let me go back to John Benicki's statement here. But I have no emotional attachment to the first train I ever had. Anybody who's watched me on any live stream has heard the story about 40 times. My dad, Christmas, Santa Claus brought me a Tyco Santa Fe Super Chief War Bonnet. It was an F7 with a Baby Ruth boxcar and a couple of trailers and a caboose. And I was totally unimpressed with it. I wasn't into model toy trains and model trains, et cetera, et cetera. And, but there is that. But I want to go back to John Benicki's bit. He says somebody has a 40 foot by 120 foot. So that's what, about 12 and a half meters wide by about 35, 36 meters long. And it's just filled with trains, a fantastic layout. You could never build anything near that, but he has an unlimited budget. So here we go. Yeah. If I had that space, if I had that kind of space, you better believe I'd be trying to build something that big.
Oh, yeah. I would too.
120 foot long run for my ICEs. Oh, hell yeah. It is nice to be rich. Let's all admit it.
And probably the pinnacle, that'd be Rod Stewart's Three Rivers City layout that he built.
Yeah. Well, let's get one thing straight. Rod only kind of built it. He hired professionals to build it. He did hire people to build his layout. But good on him.
Yeah. But that's what I was getting at. If you can afford to do that stuff, go for it. I mean,
yeah. Well, see, John's saying he could never imagine. I could imagine. Give me the opportunity. Give me the opportunity. Oh my goodness. I would be doing my own miniature wonderland by that point. I'd be doing over here I've got Sweden, and over here I've got Italy, and over here I'd be doing the American version of miniature wonderland. But miniature wonderland, I know we have Northlands. But miniature wonderland, which I've seen both. I have seen both. So, And Northlands is impressive. Northlands is beautiful. It's impressive, but Miniature Wonderland's on a totally different level. Okay. Northlands is awesome, but Miniature Wonderland is just on a totally different world. But you could never succeed with a Miniature Wonderland here in the United States. You couldn't, no matter where you put it, Chicago, New York. I don't think it could be remotely as successful as Miniature Wonderland is in Germany, because the business model just doesn't fit the American mentality. You know, these guys could be a lot richer than they are, but they keep everything. They pay their workers very well. The German rules about vacation and blah, 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 the payment patterns, and then what they put into it and the constant redeveloping and redoing. I don't think it could succeed as well, but God, it'd be cool if there were one. Yep, 1,500 engines, 10,000 rolling stock. Oh, the Brain Collection? Okay. So did Tom, owner of the Leia. Trying to find the steam engine like my first steam engine has been challenging. Yeah, and that's it. Sometimes you have that one fascination. My problem is I got into the hobby late, and now that I'm looking at older locomotives, for example, I'm trying to find a Lufthansa. I'm trying to find a Märklin Class 103 Lufthansa Express locomotive that was Era 4, but I can't find it. If I see the whole set, the set is too expensive for me. But I would love the Class 103. I can get a Class 111, but not a Class 103. And I want the 103. Let's see, what is that? Oops, I think I hit the wrong one. Holy crap. So that means Artie is worth something? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Artie's worth something. We're just trying to find which what monetary system he has a value in. I don't know if we can trade him for rocks and lint, belly lint, or what the equitable trade rate is. What can we get for Artie in trade?
Is waard is. Zet hem gewoon. Okay.
So yeah, Artie has a worth. We're just trying to find what financial institution we can trade him in for.
Yeah.
Here is your pile of mud, your ostrich feather, and some beads. So how much of that is Artie worth? That's what we're trying to figure out. But Artie's worth going to visit, I'll tell you that much. Artie's worth going down to Australia and visit. The man should get a career as a tour guide. He should find it and become a tour guide. He just knows the things, and he knows where to take people. As long as he looks up, there we go. Oh, we're gonna see some layout there. Is he showing me is that a Lufthansa Express back there? Or is that a Koploper in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a. Ta-da. Yeah,
Oh,
my
there
new
it is.
layout.
There it is.
Yeah, there.
Fahren.
Yeah.
Gehen.
Yeah. Oh, huh? Background. Ta-da. It's bigger, the layout. There, so.
Yeah, he had a layout and it was beautiful, and he decided to take it out and tore it down here a few weeks ago. And now Ian's building a new one.
Yeah.
So beautiful Koploper, schöne Koploper, tolle Anlage. I can only can only say German. Hey, Arthur's here. Arthur O'Gage, trains and slot cars. Welcome in. Here, I'll read.
Okay.
We're gonna see the koppelupper running. Hey, Chase. Actually, I was. Yes.
Yeah, mijn koploper have today around the layout. The new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chase, let's see. What did Chase say here? Chase, where am I? Number 1, nothing wrong with simple. Keep it simple is not a bad thing to follow.
Yes,
Also, we all start simple. And what you were showing in your camera, like I said, I'd love to get your sound system working out, let you see what you're running, because you had some cool stuff there. You had some really cool stuff. And I wanted to ask you about a couple of things, but we just got to get your, we just got to sort out how we can get you on in the sound issue. But nothing wrong. I started on a kitchen table. In fact, I might do this real quick. Present image file. It'll take me a little while to get there. You will have to bear with me. Don't ask me why I'm doing this outrageous French accent, but I do the outrageous French accent at times. Except now my system has frozen temporarily, but here we go. So let's do this. I apologize to anybody who's French for my terrible and outrageous French accent. I blame it on Peter Sellers. Between stuff. Toy train picks. Train table picks. Where is it? Where's the first one? Where is the very first one? Here it is. Okay, so here it is. That is me, December 26th. That is me, December 26th, 2015. My first train and my first set of track. And I was on the kitchen table, and Joyce tolerated it for about 3 days before she said, get that thing off the kitchen table so we can feed the family and build something downstairs.
Okay.
But that's where I started. And then, so let's see, could I go to the next image? Okay, so let's remove that one. And then I will add the next one. Present image file. Will it go back to the same place? Yes. Yay. And any minute now, it'll pop up. Ta-da. And so there it is. The same loop of track, and that's my first layout and my first table. That's it. We all start there. If you have more than that, you're ahead of the game. And there's nothing wrong with having just that. You do what you can do in the space you have to do.
And like me, Anthony, I'm still that way. I still have just the 4x8 layout.
I know, and I hope I never make people feel bad.
No, you're not making me feel bad or anything. I'm just saying what you were saying. You have to work within what you have, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But
and I could do a whole show on just let's see, remove. And the thing is, I still had 2 of my kids living at home at this. No, I only had 1 child living at home at this time. Or did my son move back in for a bit? I forget if my son was still he had moved out, moved in for a bit, then moved out again. I forget, but yeah. So I had this, but I was sharing the basement with my daughter, and then I had a workroom, which, if you see the funny little drawing back there, one of my kids did that when they were like 10 or whatever, and it's been hanging there ever since. That room was my tool and hobby room. I set up my war games in there before I was into trains. That's where I did, like if I was working on a project in the house, rebuilding something, I did it in that little room back there. Now that's my daughter's sewing room because Joyce made the mistake of saying, honey, the kids have grown up and moved. Nobody uses the basement anymore. Give Liz the workroom, and why don't you just take the rest of the basement? I don't think she at the time expected me to literally take all of the basement, but I did. But so let me remove this one and let's add another one. Da 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 da. I'll try to add this one. Takes a second for it to pop up. Yeah, we all started from somewhere. And then I discovered Scarm.
Green.
And I got told to put foam board
Photos.
down as a base. So foam board, insulation board. And it's still the same loop, but I grabbed some of my wargaming, all those trees and little hills. That's my wargaming stuff.
Hey, it works.
It worked. You know, I had some trees and I
Okay.
had some hills. And then I printed up a 1-to-1. So this was my first layout design. And the table had grown to, I think the table was 8 feet, or no, it was 10 feet long at this time. Might have been 12. It was 10 or 12 feet. So now it was that long. But again, I had this basement to do it. Now it had to be 10 feet because it was only about a third of the distance across because I was still sharing the space at that time. But that's it. I have one train. I have one train, one row of track, and some of my old wargaming terrain. The battery on your device just died. I'm sorry. Chase, hopefully we'll work it out. We'll be here again next week and you can come up because I'd like to see what you have and hear from you. So maybe we can work out getting you earphones or something like that. See, I don't use earphones here because I have a noise canceling mic. So anything that comes from the speakers immediately gets blacked out. It only takes my voice. So, you know, it starts. And then again, I am lucky. I am lucky. I admit it. I had the space to keep expanding. And gradually over time, I had the ability to keep adding trains. And it's turned into a monster, which is where the topic began. Because like I said, I had somebody I will call a friend, although I don't know if I could use that term friend. You know, it's not like Jean Ricard or Randall or people that I really know and like, but there's somebody I'm courteous with online. And they're like, you have too many trains. You don't need to buy any more. And I'm like, why? If I can. Well,
Yeah,
you're never going to be able to run them all. Who says? I run 6 different trains every week. And the more trains I have, the more I can rotate. Yeah.
I always tell people you can never have too many trains, but you can't have not enough space.
Yeah, I mean, you can. There's no such thing as too much space. Now, some people are content. Now, John Benicki said 40 by 120. That's too much for him. For me, I'd be giving it a try. If you gave me the space, or I was rich enough to afford a 40 foot by 120 foot long space, I'm going to fill that with my model trains. I'm going to try. I'm still going to have to stay within a budget. But, oh my gosh, HO scale and running my ICE and having that nice long run, that would be ridiculously cool.
I know this would enrage some people if I say this, Anthony, but me, I just feel like the bench work, put the plywood on top, lay the track down, and then just run insanely long trains all day long. Just for the heck of it. And then worry about the scenery later.
So I'm going to just keep he's back. And I'm not hearing echo and his mic is on. So are you there? Chase Railway, can you hear us? Knock once for yes, twice for no. Shake your camera up and down. Yes, like this. Are you okay? Yes. Are you okay? No.
Hey, Dave.
Funny.
There you go. We have confirmation.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Yes, he can hear us. Is that seriously? Is that a spaceship back there? Or is that like a fancy restaurant?
Oh, I know what that is, Anthony.
What is it?
That's the Menards UFO set.
Oh, cool.
I know that because the West Plains Mall Railroad Club has that on their S scale layout. If you've seen if you saw the video from the Christmas or the thing I put together from the Christmas display, it's actually on their layout.
Live from Japan.
If you actually look real close, there's a little Jeep underneath of it, and the aliens are taking the Jeep.
Okay, well, yeah, let's I'm gonna enlarge this before I find my next picture here, but this is cool. I like this. So he's got all these cool buildings over here. He's got the track crossing there, and then you've got the aliens partying at the water tower. Maybe they're a hydrogen-based fuel system, and they're taking the water to get the hydrogen.
That's the first time I've seen the HO variant of that, though.
Okay, yeah.
Because the variant the club has is for S scale, S gauge, the American Flyer.
That Menards sells stuff for S gauge?
Yes, they do.
Not in this part of the world. Our Menards only sells trains at Christmas time, and O and HO.
I think it's S gauge. It's either that or it's the O gauge, and they just put it on the S scale layout. I can't remember which. Yep. I would have to get in touch with Bob again and see what it actually is. But
Mars needs locomotive drivers. Hi, you drive a diesel locomotive. Could you help us with our spaceship?
Oh, they have the one with the cow too, Eric. I didn't know that. See, the one the club has the Jeep underneath of it, and it's, if you look, it's actually picking the Jeep up and trying to put it in the spaceship, and there's like a tank there trying to shoot the aliens down too. Now I don't know if that's part of that Menard set, but it's there on the layout. So
I'm going to add my next one here. Boom, over we go. So then I expanded to this. I added another, this is after I had to rebuild my basement after a storm where we flooded in the basement and had to have a new weeping system installed in the basement. So this was my, there were several expansions of this table, but now I've got 2 full loops. I've got a shorter third loop and then an even shorter fourth loop here. But I also now have, I have an ICE4. I have a German Regiobahn, a Deutsche Bahn Regio. I have the Metronome, that's the yellow and blue one. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, I have a Nordwestbahn DMU, a diesel multiple unit. And I just kept adding more war game. But by this time, I had been going to garage sales, train shows, and even eBay and buying any cheap German-looking, European-looking building I could find. And I would buy them broken, and I would fix them. I would buy where somebody had, I don't even know if it's all there. It's like 3 different model kits thrown together. I'll buy it and piece something together. And you can even see in the back, I have a bunch of wooden blocks that were designed to look like the Delmenhorst the City Hall and Water Tower complex. I was just using wooden blocks. That's 4x4s back there. And I was just stacking them. And this is the shape of the City Hall and the big water tower next to it. At the time, that was enough for me. I had a German layout and I was running trains, and I had a little fake version of Delmenhorst. And at that time I was thrilled, but yet I kept getting more, and I kept finding I had more room to expand. It was about this time where Joyce said, just take the whole basement, build as big as you can build it, and stop stealing a foot at a time and just take the whole thing. Hey, Mark from Zantec, how are you? Mars has the UFO. Menards has the UFO picking up an M&M candy figure. Well, that's interesting. I thought I saw that moving something back there. And Chase is also running train.
And by the way, thanks for the clarification on that Rick's trains. He says they're only HO and O.
Okay.
Menard stuff. So.
Okay. So it was the closest scale to throw with an S scale layout.
Yeah, they just threw it on there for the kids to have fun, look at, and everything. It is really cool. So,
Great Northern, that is a metronome. The Metronome is a private company that runs in northern Germany. Basically, it's traffic in and out of Hamburg. It's Hamburg regional traffic, Hamburg and the outer lying suburbs, and actually goes all the way down to Bremen. It'll go as far south as Bremen, but that's the extent. But it runs in and out. Its official headquarters is in the town of Uelzen, which is southeast of Hamburg. But it's in and out of Hamburg. Now, Deutsche Bahn also has trains that do the regional, but with these private companies, they make a deal, and the private companies take routes that Deutsche Bahn did not want to run anymore or did not find profitable enough, and these companies come in and take over. So it's a German commuter train. Obviously, it's a commuter. But it's a regional. So it's in and out of Hamburg, up to an hour and a half away from Hamburg. So same colors as the local commuter you're by. Now, yellow and blue are common private company colors for some reason. Like Nordwestbahn, a train company I ride a lot, is blue with yellow highlights. And then there was Eric's trains, which were white with yellow and blue highlights. And then there was Nordrhein-Bahn, which was also yellow and blue and white mixed. Mittelrheinbahn which I think Mittelrheinbahn is no longer in business. I think they got taken over by somebody. And that's the thing. Can we hear you talking? No, Chase, we cannot. I apologize. We cannot hear you talking. But we're seeing your trains running, which is very cool.
There's Percy. My niece has that engine, Chase.
So I apologize for that. No, we're not hearing you. You just done a 5.5 hour run in American Truck Simulator. Wenatchee, Washington to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Well, that's definitely more than 5.5 hours in real life. You're not going from Washington State to Arkansas in 5.5 hours.
Yeah, I'll show you something else, Anthony. And since Chase has Percy running, he's probably going to like this. So, when my niece was in the train deal for a little bit when she was little, like 2 to 5 years old, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was watching Thomas and Friends, the CGI show, and she started wanting some of the Thomas models. So, what me and my mom figured at the time, now this is probably, well, it's been over 10 years ago now, but we figured that we would get the same, like the Bachman trains, Bachman Thomas and Friends. That way she could run on my layout. My layout being electrical, she could run these trains on my layout. So, but I'll show you one of the engines here that we got for. This is, I think, actually the last one we got for.
Okay, so, we've got Chase ready to talk, so I'm going to let him.
Yeah,
Chase,
go ahead.
If you can unmute yourself and you wanted to talk, do it now. If you unmute your mic now, you won't have any echoing because we'll be quiet. Go. I hear footsteps. Oh, I know how frustrating that is. I remember my first tries to get onto a live stream. Well, unfortunately, Chase, if you are talking, we're not hearing you.
Not working for some reason.
Wait, now
I
it
heard
is.
you
We
now.
heard you. We heard you. Shh.
Wait, it's working now? Is it working now? Okay. I see you nodding your head that it's
Yeah.
working now.
He's alive.
So you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear you
I
just
hear it
fine.
going through. Okay. Yay. Yeah, it is a
Yay.
Bachman Percy that's on the layout. It's just a little bit delayed for me.
Well, what you're going to do is you're going to hear yourself on echo. We hear you, and then we hear you again through the echo. What you're going to do is you're going to hear yourself on echo. We hear you, and then we hear you again through the echo.
Yeah, you're just the way you're like, I'm trying to lip read what you're saying, and then it replays it back.
Yeah.
Randall.
Hey, a Bachman Emily.
Yeah, that's this is what I was talking about, Chase.
I don't have one of those.
This is actually the last, I think the last Thomas engine we bought for my niece a long time ago. So she's actually 13 now, but she's out of the model train stuff. But yeah, this was actually the last one we bought. The bad part about this engine, Chase, is that this thing has extremely anemic pulling power. It can literally pull the two coaches that it's made for, and that's it. It can't pull anything else.
Look at him.
Yeah, because it has a single wheel.
Right.
Oops.
Yeah, I have 5 Thomas characters, I think. I have Thomas, Percy, James, Henry, and Donald.
Okay, so as far as for my niece's trains, she has, of course, Emily here. She has Thomas, Percy, and Toby. So.
A 422.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple of questions here. Bachman, I assume, was 00, weren't they?
Yeah, these are 00 instead of
Right,
HO.
I like 440s the best.
You like 440s the best.
But even then, when you put an engine like this next to it, you can see just how small these locomotives really are. Because
Yeah.
there's the BNS FSD-78s right there next to it. You can see just how small these locomotives really are. Because there's the BNS FSD-78s right there next to it.
Yeah, I have 6 of the Bachman older tooling 440s.
Just to go back, Ken is absolutely correct. Of course, he already knew that. S is between HO and O,
Right.
roughly halfway. It's Hot Wheel size.
Right.
It's 164, which is Hot Wheels, and Matchbox and Johnny Lightning and Maisto and everybody else that makes 164 toy cars. Like specifically Johnny Lightning, which at one time featured this 1973 Dodge Charger SE, which there's the picture, and the car in that picture is my 1973 Dodge Charger.
And there's S-Scale right there. That's also Lionel.
Not that I do any self-plugging at all. Not at all. I'm not into product endorsement or name dropping or any of that stuff.
It's probably a good thing I didn't show the front of that car, or Anthony would probably kick me from the street.
Would it have been a Ford?
Maybe.
That'll get you banned in these parts.
Yeah.
We don't take kindly to Ford.
Well, sir, I would have preferred the Dodges, but there's no Dodge in NASCAR anymore. At least not until 2026.
That's right.
When they come back to the Truck Series.
We're coming back. Dodge can drive in a circle with the best of them.
Yeah, the bad part is, though, when they come back next year in the Truck Series, they all use the same engine. Every manufacturer. They all use the same Elmore engines.
See, that's unfair.
Yeah, it is.
Because they know if they have to go against those Mopar engines, they lose. Because Dodge was dominating the Truck Series when
there was a few years there where they owned the Truck Series.
Yep. We were a bit restricted when we got into NASCAR, but we finally did win a bunch of races. Brad Keselowski and Keene and some of those guys. Sterling.
Petty Enterprise had Dodgers for a long time in the Truck Series.
How you doing, Ian? Are you hanging up with all of us English-speaking ignorant peons?
I listen. I listen.
You listen. I don't want
I learn.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ian, if you want to say something, don't let us hold you back.
So.
Well,
okay.
I won't speak for him, but Ian's English is better than my Dutch. But then again, my Dutch is non-existent, and he speaks just a little German, so I couldn't even go that far. Ich kann gut Deutsch sprechen, aber Niederländisch nicht so gut. Ich kann es lesen, aber nicht sprechen.
Schade.
But yeah, but anyhow, we got on to NASCAR. This is train talk, darn it. That's what we need. That's why, and of course, that's why I want the modern Amtrak Charger locomotive. Right?
That's a cool engine.
Yeah.
Despite having so many issues, it's a cool engine.
It's a Charger. I'll just slap the name Dodge on it because Dodge goes with Charger, like peanut butter and jelly.
They would be a whole lot more reliable if they were Dodges.
Like kangaroo steak and Vegemite.
I'm just saying.
Artie's favorite meal, kangaroo steak with Vegemite.
But another thing I was going to say too, Anthony, this was also another thing I mentioned in the past. I like to dance between the fantasy and the reality. So you have your Emily Thomas Tank Engine, your fantasy, then you have your prototype right here with the SD70As.
Wait a minute. Could we rephrase that? You said Thomas the Tank Engine, your fantasy. If you're having
okay. Oh yeah. Let me rephrase that. You have the non-prototypical stuff with the Emily here, and then you have the prototypically stuff with the BNSFAs here. So
yes, Mark. The Dukes of Hazzard was a 19. They actually had a 69 and a 70. They actually had more than one that they used, but they were basically, it was a Dodge Charger. It was a second generation Dodge Charger, the 68 to 70 A bodies.
Don't forget Bachman's Chuggington series.
What's that?
Chase?
Aha.
Oh, that's cool.
That looked like a class 37. I didn't see it quick enough. I was reading.
It's Brewster from Chuggington.
Oh, okay. So it's based. I assume it's based on a 30. So kind of based on a 37. Yeah. Okay. Because my grandson knows. I don't know. I mean, I know who Thomas the Tank Engine is. I had seen it a few times in my life, but never paid attention to it. But my grandson knows Thomas the Tank Engine. He's 4, but he's known Thomas the Tank Engine since he was a year and a half. And he's got a bunch of them. I think his favorite is Gordon. My daughter would have to correct me on that, but I think his favorite is Gordon. Could I put up a stream link? I suppose I could. How much money you got? We do accept PayPal here.
And then just for kicks and grins,
Uh-oh.
here's the, well, you can't see it, but here's the BN side of the BNSF merger right here.
Aha.
So, for those who may not be old enough to remember, BNSF, its full name, original full name, was Burlington Northern Santa Fe. So it was the 1995 merger of Burlington Northern and the Santa Fe Railway. So, and then 2005 they changed their name to just BNSF. So,
Ken, it depends on who you buy new from. It depends on you. And there's nothing wrong with always buying used, buying old. I tend to buy new. I tend to buy new because while I do have a lot of old American stuff now, I do new. And here's a guy that drives a truck for a living. Then he does videos of him driving a truck virtually, and he sits down to be on camera. And what do we see? A truck steering wheel right in front of him. He's got his whole steering wheel.
hang on, I have to see this.
Does he sleep in bed with that?
Not quite, Ant. Not quite.
That's a heck of a setup right there.
Yeah, I got
Well,
my
wait, he's
keyboard there.
British, so it's this way.
Got my laptop there for the watch me stream to make.
I take
All
a
right,
picture, yeah.
Let me enlarge him for a second. Let me enlarge him here. Let me embiggen him. Ooh, if anybody gets that reference, embiggen him, pop it in the chat. If anybody gets that reference, I'm betting nobody does, because that's a different nerd level I have. Let's see. So where are we? Xantec, he's the last one. So bam. All right, Xantec, you now are full screen. So your little PlayStation.
I've got the most important thing there, however.
A computer
No,
and a keyboard. Oh, the drink. Yeah, that's not the most important thing. But you are British, so tea. Is it tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Oh, see, then it's not the most important thing.
Keyboard there in the hobby vise. That's my volume. Pedals down there, if you can see it.
Hey, they're all on the wrong side.
Hey?
That's a neat setup, Xantec.
Yeah, cheers. I've got.
My daughter was doing that from age 10. She
I've got
was
the,
into car driving. Of all my kids, she was the one. She loved the car driving.
I use that for my
She had
gears.
the steering wheel, the brake pedals, everything. Sorry, Mark, go ahead.
I use that for my gears. That to score my map and dashboard. Various different functions on the trucks, lights, hazards, beacons, engine on, engine off, radio. Yes, I know, I've got an in-game radio. Wipers, other things as well. There, suspension controls there. Various things on the steering wheel. However,
You got all on there.
Yes,
yeah.
he does.
I use that for me, those for me indicators. Got me high beam flash there, me high beam on and off there. Look around.
Yeah, the thing is, Mark actually drives his entire house. He's taken the term mobile home. He's taken the term mobile home to a new level.
You will see.
Hey, Anthony, that would be the song that plays on the radio all the time. Our house in the middle of our street.
Our house
Mhm.
Middle of our street, our house.
I can't never remember the name of the band that does that song.
Madness.
Madness,
I've
yes.
Madness. I'm a huge Madness fan.
picture of a steam train there.
Oh, I love that one, Mark.
That's
Easy.
by Christopher Foss.
Yeah, there you go.
Um,
I got Ian's attention too. See, the problem
Oh,
is
that's cool.
you just don't
what
want
the ship?
Matt
Yeah.
Clark or Diesel Dan near.
Hang on a second.
Matt, did we just blow up? Yes, Diesel Dan. We just blew up a mobile home.
Also, I've got a DC-10.
That's cool.
Oh, look, it's a pigeon, a mechanical pigeon.
777.
Nice.
That's a bigger mechanical pigeon. Or if it's a Boeing, it's a penguin because we all know Boeings can't fly. Oh!
Boeing's
Nice
called
band.
fun. Go boing, boing, boing.
Oh, shit.
Now, is that one remote control, Mark?
Yeah.
Or is it just a static
That's
mode?
very often.
Pacific.
I think
Take it off.
take the cranes out. Uh-oh, he's stripping it. You know, the problem is we only see a forehead. We have no idea what he's really doing below camera.
Oh, that's neat. It is remote control.
Yeah, little slow revving 400 side motor there, servo there. That's for micro switching for the lights there. Yes, it has working lights. The little
That's cool.
double A's there, they are for the lights. And a Nike battery.
That's neat.
And behind me,
When you see the southern...
I don't know if you've seen the videos on it, Mark, where they have the remote control Titanic model. And it actually has the smoking funnels.
yeah, we've got a few over here. But one guy actually, I think, put the gun into the submarine inside it. So he could sink it.
Well, that's what Paul Bozeman from Tommy
Yeah.
Station, he took a model submarine that wasn't designed for being a remote control, and he made it a remote control submarine.
Oh, crafty.
He had some failures, but he did get it there in the long run.
Right, yeah. That, although it's got a busted antenna, is my 2.4 gig.
That's a heck of a remote.
Well, with the busted antenna, it's like 1.9 gig.
I've also got.
Yeah, they got pills for that now. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is so cool. That is so cool.
That's fully movable.
Mark just became the coolest kid at show and tell today.
There's a winch in there for this, which is on 12 foot of wire.
Wait a minute. Now that's a winch.
Yeah.
Okay, so where's the girl that's the wench?
Oh, shut up.
I don't care about the winch. I want to see the
My
winch.
cat has nibbled the cable.
The cat nibbled the cable.
Yeah.
Your cat
Yeah,
used it for dental floss, apparently.
Cats are pretty good at doing stuff like that, Mark.
Gotta keep them
I would
sane.
know from experience on
Pretty
that.
sharp.
Underneath there, by the way, is an absolute crap load of cable.
Whew. That's a lot of water.
Yeah, she's got
I was born in 1970, the same year.
workable navigation lights,
Sounds like the beginning of a
searchlights,
novel.
deck lights.
Twin screw.
Oh yeah, she's twin screw.
Nord Icelandia, Dutch Harbor, Alaska. There you go.
She's not very fast though.
Well, hard to blame. Doesn't have any legs.
I've not got the USS Missouri.
I just want to tell everybody I want to wrap this up in about 5 minutes
Okay.
because I still have family. And they're still talking to me. Normally the family gets together on Sunday, but plans got changed this weekend and everybody was here today. Normally the family gets together on Sunday, but plans got changed.
You might like this one, Randall.
Ooh.
That's
Ships
cool.
and cruisers, yay.
Quad
That
screw,
thing's a beast, Mark.
individually driven.
That thing's a beast.
It's a heavy beast as well. It's got half.
Wait, is that supposed to be the Yamato?
It is the Yamato, yes.
It is the Yamato. The
Well,
Yamato.
it could also be the Musashi.
Yamato.
Yeah, she's suffering a bit now because she's getting a bit
Hey,
older.
John.
She's probably over 30 years old. The second time when I brought it, she's got.
Well, it's already lasted a lot longer than its original predecessor did.
It's got, put it this way, it's got half a church roof inside it, just to sit it on the waterline. So without the lead inside it, literally, if I put it on the water.
Yeah, Kyle, I saw your video. I'll try to watch it tonight before I go to bed. Hi, Kyle. Bye, Kyle.
Yeah, hey, bye, Kyle.
And it hasn't even got the battery in yet.
Yeah, Gary, known as Creepy 13, who doesn't come online anymore, he left the
What
model
would you
train
say is your
and went
oldest?
to diorama and model military models and ships. Yep.
That's the controller for that one.
That's cool.
Yes, 40 meg for Taba.
And you've got an you've got a big ball at the end of it.
Yeah, that's cool. So obviously, people don't poke their eyes on the antenna. As
They have a pill for that too.
Yeah.
Anthony, what would you say is your oldest train?
What is my oldest train? Great question, especially now that I've inherited Herb's. The oldest train I've got, it's a locomotive. It's from 1961, and it is a.
well, I've also now got these. I've got two of these.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, these are Class 153 rail buses.
Jean,
Okay,
which one of my locos is from 61? Jean Ricard, which one of my locos is from 61?
Also nicknamed skateboards, Randall.
Yeah, that's cool, Mark.
I believe my oldest train is the
riding on like that. Hence skateboard. Because you have two trucks, and it's a one unit.
Yeah, skateboard.
They are a converted two-car DMU, basically to.
It's also the right height to just add a little bit of a filter to it and use it as a vape or smoking a little Mother Nature.
I believe this train is my oldest one that I own.
Oh, that's cool. Hang on.
Wow. Yeah, that's getting up there.
Oh, hang on. How old do you reckon?
That's nice.
Well, hang on, guys, because like I said, I got to wrap this up here.
Hang on. Not yet.
Yes, yet. I can pull a button. You can't tell me when.
That's really nice, Chase.
Yeah.
Show and tell.
Yes.
We've had
It's
some
made
good
by
show and
American
tell.
Flyers.
We've had a gorgeous cup-lupper, and we've had an alien display, as well as some nice freight running from on Chase. We've had the cup-lupper. We've had a couple of cool things from Randall. I'm the only one not showing off anything. I was just showing old pictures. So what do I have? What can I show off? Can I show off anything? I got a bottle of water.
Water's good for you. I should really start drinking more of it.
Apparently not this water. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, Mark. Last one. Last one for show and tell, kids. Then we have to get back to work.
Yeah. How about a Lima Class 86 from like the early 1960s?
See, Mark, I saw one of those on eBay looking at them. I don't know. Those are pretty
Good night,
neat.
Andy.
You're very crude. I'll grant you that, Randall.
Hey, Mike. Hello, Mike.
But for
Hey,
the
Mike,
when they came out, they were pretty
Mike
good.
was here. I apologize, Mike. I didn't know you were here.
Single bogey transmission and single bogey pickup as well. So you only actually pick up after one bogey. Come on the track, wind up the power. It sounds like a cat having a fight in an alleyway. Yeah.
All right, hang on. I have to respond to this. Adela Varga, I don't know what BS Artie's telling you, but Joyce and Artie's family can tell you. I handled the Parlinka well. I was fine. It had no effect on me. I was good. A certain Artie had less than me and was a little sleepy, but I was good. I handled the Hungarian moonshine just fine. So whatever tales Artie's telling you, he needs to get his facts straight.
So you're looking at Ant?
The Schienenbus. My Schienenbus is 1961.
Yeah, you beat me. This is 1967.
It's not beating. When they last that long, they all deserve praise and credit. But anyhow, guys, I hate to cut this off because as always, you're keeping it going. But I do need to bring this to an end so I can get back to family. So I want to thank all of you who came up. And I hope nobody is offended by me saying this, but Ian, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I know it's not easy listening to us babble in a foreign language. I wish I spoke Dutch more. Delmarva's coming in just as we're heading off. Sorry, Delaware and Maryland. I've been going for 90 minutes and I was only supposed to go for 60 today, but I can't help it. I keep it going when people are good.
Good job you did go to 90
Time flies when you're having fun, Anthony.
Always a pleasure, Randall. I got a white. I know I keep delaying. I have changed out the computer, so it will be coming to you very soon.
No rush, Nancy. No rush.
Hey, PK Miler, how are you? Dang it, missed the show. Yeah, I mean, the time change throws everything off too, but we did have a nice crowd today. So on that, I want to thank everybody here. Randall, Ian, Chase, we even got you here. Mark from Zantech, who probably needs to take a couple before he gets to bed. Already bailing out. So all of you for Wacky Weekend Light, remember we're going to be back here next week and the following week until Artie is willing to show his face to the public again. But he's in witness protection or witless protection. I forget which one. But all right. So Artie can. Anthony is a married man. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And she never lets me forget it. All right. So anyhow, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Those of you that stuck around, we had 22 tonight.
I will have much more to show next time.
That's great. And Jason, again, best. One thing you could do is, especially when you come up on the link, it's go to StreamYard, but then just use the StreamYard screen because you'll be on time, and just mute the YouTube screen. And that will solve most of your problems.
Yeah, it won't play havoc with you when you do that. So.
Yeah, just use because the StreamYard. Yeah, the StreamYard will be accurate, or we won't look like a bad Chinese movie that's being lip synced. Look, it's Godzilla. You know,
I do get a kick out of it.
Yeah, because that's what was happening earlier. Yeah, I have much more in terms of billboard and all kinds of decorated
But
rolling
no, it
stock
was,
and
yeah. So
engines.
have it up, be ready, because next week I probably will also be struggling for an idea, and I'll pull people up to make it look like I had something planned. So on that note, again, because I'm saying goodbye for the 5th time, because I'm German, we say goodbye a lot. Usually only after we're forced out after invading your country, but that's a different story. Sorry. Just ask Poland. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Guys. See you,
I
Anthony.
have a lot of,
See you
old,
again. See
of the
Chase.
older like advertising train sets.
Yep. All right. Take care.
See you guys.
See you guys.